Hi all. So this video will be going over the syllabus and the important things that are in the syllabus. I'm not going to cover every single thing that's on it, but I will cover the important stuff like contact information and what assignments we'll be doing this year and stuff like that. Once you finish watching this video, the paper copies of the syllabus are posted on Blackboard. You can look over them there, and then you will have a quiz over this syllabus with 7 questions. You can only take that quiz once, but all of the answers are on the syllabus and on this video if you have, so you should be able to find them there. Make sure you find all of them and answer all of them because that should be an easy 100 for you. Okay, so this is the syllabus. This first part is the description of the course from the school. You can read over that if you want to. I've covered that already in the introduction video. Next here is... Come on. Okay. This is me, David Jameson. This is my office and my office phone number. I'm only in my office at the school probably a couple of times this year. I'll go there for printing and recording videos and stuff like that, but I don't know when those times will be. So this isn't a good place to find me or to contact me. If you call this number, nobody's going to answer, and if you go there, probably nobody's going to be there. The best way to contact me is via email right here. So my email is djameson with an I at kilgore.edu. That's the fastest way to contact me. If you have a question in the middle of the night, or you you're not sure how an assignment should be turned in or something like that, you can contact me there. And I will get back to you probably the next day or later that day. I check my email Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m., and at least once on the weekends. So that's the easiest way to get in contact with me. You can also use the Blackboard Messenger. I'll check that whenever I'm on Blackboard, but I won't be as easy to find there as I am on my email. All right, so this part is covering the regular activities that we'll have in the class. Most of the assignments that you turn in will be daily assignments. So, for example, you're going to have the quiz that's after this syllabus. You're going to have 3 grammar assignments later in the week. You're going to have a stress test for Proctorio later in the week. All of those are daily assignments. A lot of those will be completion grades. A lot of them will mostly be checking for your understanding. And then later on in the year, you will also have daily grades that will build up to major grades. So when we write major papers like the literacy narrative or the 2 research papers, you'll have several daily grades that will build up to those. That will be outlining assignments or brainstorming assignments or research assignments, and each one of those will be a daily grade that will also lead to your major grades. Next we'll have the grammar exam. That will be in week 2. So that will be an online 50-question multiple choice test that will take an hour for you to complete. Nobody ever takes the entire hour, it seems like. But that will cover all the grammar stuff we cover this week and some that we'll cover next week. Your first essay will be what's called a literacy narrative. You'll start working on that next week, and then you will finish it in week 3. A literacy narrative is an essay that doesn't require any sources. It will basically be a story about your own life as it relates to a form of literacy. And that can be reading or writing, but it can also be learning how to do an art form or learning how to run track or learning how to do a job or fix cars or something like that. It's a pretty fun paper. Most people don't have any problems with it. Next, you'll have 2 different research papers, and we'll have one of those that's due week 5 and one that's due week 7. The one that's week 5 will be 500 to 750 words, and it will cover an issue in your field of study. That can be something new that's happening, how technology is changing your field maybe, or how new techniques have come around in your field. Or it can be a problem that's coming up in your field, like a lot of people talk about getting better pay or being burnt out at work or something like that for specific fields. Whatever works for your field, whatever you're interested most about that field, that can be what that paper's about. It will require looking up some sources and learning about that thing happening in your field, and taking that information and turning that into a complete essay. And then you'll also have a 3rd research paper that will be the longest one that you write. That will be 1,000 to 1,500 words. And it will be about a subject of your choice. It will be an argumentative essay. So you will be making an argument about something that you're passionate about outside of class. It can have to do with your field of study if you want. It can have nothing to do with your field of study. You can argue about whether Michael Jordan or LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time, or you can argue about whether Bella should have gone with Edward or Jacob, or something like that if you want to. I've had a lot of different papers about a lot of different subjects. It just needs to be something you can argue about. Next, online discussions. Most weeks you will have an online discussion where you will maybe brainstorm for a paper. Maybe you will talk about an interest that you have. This week, your online discussion will be one where you basically just introduce yourself and talk about yourself a little bit. Those you will have to complete in 2 different parts. One part you will submit earlier in the week, where you will answer whatever questions that I have, and then the next part, by Sunday at midnight, you will have to submit responses to other people's writings. And I'll go in there usually and give you guys some feedback as well on what you're talking about. So those will lead into a lot of the writing assignments that you'll do. And then the last major grade will be your final exam. That'll be week 8. You'll have a few days to take it. The last day that you can complete that final exam is Wednesday, though, of week 8. So make sure that you don't expect to be taking it later on than that. All right, and then this is how the grades break down. The daily participation grades, including all of those grades that we're doing this week, will count for 20% of your overall grade. The discussions, so the 6 different discussions that you'll have, starting this week with the one where you introduce yourself, those will be 10% of your overall grade. The grammar exam will be 10%. The papers, these will break down to where the literacy narrative, the first one, and the research paper about your field of study will both be 10%. And then the argumentative paper that you'll do at the end will be 20%. This is going with how much work goes into each paper, basically. So these are both 500 to 750 words, and this one is 1,000 to 1,500. So since it's more words, it's worth more. And then the final exam, as with all classes, will be about 20% of your grade. For the major papers that you turn in here, what you will do is submit a series of drafts. Your first draft, once you've brainstormed and outlined and in some cases done research, you will submit for a daily grade to a discussion board. And in that discussion board, you will give your peers feedback on their papers, and they will give you feedback on your papers. You'll read over your papers. I'll give you a set of questions to look at, to think about what they could do better and what you could do better. And you'll give each other feedback. That'll be your first draft. That will just be a daily grade. Your second draft, you will go and make corrections on your first draft, and then you will turn in your second draft to me. And I will go through it. I'll read the whole thing. I'll give you some feedback on it and tell you what to fix, and I will give you a major grade for it. Let's say that this grade is an 80. If you like an 80, if that's a good enough grade for you for this major assignment, you can keep it. But if you want to, you can turn in a third draft, where you will go in and make corrections that I've told you to make, maybe add more details or information, or find better sources, or change the way that your sources are represented, or something like that. And then as long as I don't find you cheating for this part or something like that, your grade will be able to go up, usually to an A. If you do everything that I tell you to do, it'll usually get you to 100. As long as you turn everything in on time and make all of the corrections I asked for you to make, you should be able to make an A on every major paper in this class. I firmly believe that everyone should have the opportunity to make whatever grade they want. So as long as you put in the work, as long as you are following the directions, as long as you're not trying to cheat, then you should be able to make as high of a grade as you want. For daily work, if you turn in a daily assignment late, the highest grade you'll be able to make is a 70. If your second drafts for your papers, the one that you turn in to me, are late, they won't be eligible for better scores from rewrites. So whatever draft you turn in will be your final draft. If your final draft is late, it will not be counted. All right. For educational materials, our textbook that we'll use in this class is called the OER, and your mouse, yeah. It's you can click here in the syllabus and be able to see it. We're not going to do a lot of work out of the OER. Is this not working anymore? I might have to change this link. But anyway, this is an open source textbook that is free. And has a lot of good stuff in it, and you don't have to pay any money for. Sometimes you get what you pay for, which means I probably need to go back and fix this link, but I'll do that later. But it covers a lot of things about the grammar and the organization of papers and stuff like that that we're going to cover in here. You will need access to Blackboard, which is the online server for Kilgore College. You'll also need access to your Kilgore College email, because we'll be using that to communicate back and forth to each other. You won't need paper and pens for this one, because obviously we're doing this one online. But you will need a pad or laptop is highly recommended for this, because all of this again is online. If you don't have those, if you can't afford those, the library at the college can provide you with the technology that you need to complete this class. For the tests and stuff, they'll have microphones and webcams that you can use as well. But it'll be easier for you if you can do that on your own. Also, if you are away from the campus, you can probably go to a public library for those things as well. Google Docs account was required. You need a personal Google Docs and a personal Gmail. If you are using one from one of the high schools, this will not work probably. But setting up a Google account is incredibly easy, and you probably already have one of your own. For all of the assignments that we do in here, you will need to have a Google Docs account for all the writing assignments anyway. This is the calendar breakdown, and you can see here all of the different stuff. That's my cat. So these are the different assignments that we're going to turn in, and on the right you can see the discussions that are going to be there for each of those weeks. This week we're going to cover the syllabus, which we're doing right now, and then you will have run-ons, fused sentences, fragments, commas, subject-verb agreements, and pronoun antecedent agreement that you'll need to learn about later in this week. And then in the intro discussion, you'll talk about yourself and introduce yourself to each other. Next week, we have grammar practice tests that will demonstrate how the actual grammar test is going to function, and then you will take the grammar test. And then you will start working on your literacy narrative. Week 3, you'll complete your literacy narrative. You'll outline, draft, and turn your draft into a completed actual narrative by Friday. And I will go in and grade those over the weekend and give you feedback, hopefully by Monday. And then the next 2 weeks you'll be working on the research paper. So that's where you're going to research a topic in your field of study that you're interested in. The first part of that, you'll look at some sample research papers. You'll brainstorm ideas about what to write about. You'll do some research yourself. You will actually find some articles about whatever your topic is, and you'll create an outline. And then week 5, you will take your outline and draft it into a completed paper and do peer review, and then turn in your completed paper for me to go through and give you feedback. Week 6 and 7, you will work on your argument paper. So it will follow the same procedure as the last one. It'll just be a lot longer. And this one you will, again, do research, create an outline, brainstorm your topics with your peers. And then week 7, you will actually go and draft out your paper, turn everything into completed paragraphs, peer review it with your classmates, and then turn in a finished draft by that Friday. And then week 8, you'll review for the final exam, and then you will take the final exam, which will be due that Wednesday. Sorry, my cats are so loud. For attendance for this course, this is an online course and it's asynchronous. So obviously we'll be meeting in a certain place. The way I will take attendance for this course is whether or not you participated that week. So if you have a week where you didn't participate, you're going to lose 10 points from your overall grade. If you don't participate for 2 weeks, 20 points, 3 weeks, 30 points. At that point, I will send you a message telling you should drop the class because you probably won't be able to pass at that point. The only excuse that works for this is documented health issues or family emergencies, and I will need documentation for that to be able to count. But most other stuff isn't going to work because you should be able to find the time somewhere to complete your assignments. Early alerts. This week I will send out early alerts to the counselors for people who haven't turned in their assignments by Wednesday. If you haven't turned in your first assignment, which will be, let's see, it should be the grammar quiz actually. Yeah, or no, the syllabus quiz. You should turn in the syllabus quiz and introduce yourself by Wednesday. If you haven't done that, then I will send out an early alert for you, and the counselors will start harassing you and telling you to participate in class or whatever. This is so that we can see who's having trouble or who's actually doesn't even realize that they're enrolled in the class. That happens every year. And people that haven't gotten back to me by next Monday will be smart dropped, so dropped from the course. Also, throughout the year, if you miss a bunch of classes and I'm worried about you failing, or if you have psychological issues or something like that, you never know what's going to happen. That's what early alerts are for as well. Every week, there will be announcements at least once during the week. At the beginning of the week, I'll post an announcement, and sometimes during the week, I'll post some reminders. And this will tell you everything you need to do that week. It will include the introduction video for that week, and where I'll go through it on video. So, yeah, look out for these. These are the easiest way to keep up with what you're supposed to do in the class. Not using the Remind app this time. Academic integrity. So this is a big issue with online courses, especially, but also all of the other classes that we have. Academic dishonesty includes, but is not limited to, passing off someone else's work as your own, plagiarism, or having a machine produce it for you, so using ChatGPT or something like that. You're not allowed to use either of these methods to complete assignments in this course for obvious reasons, and I think we all know what those reasons are. You're supposed to be here to learn things. You're not supposed to be here to use a machine to do your homework for you. You are allowed to use word processor programs like those in Google Docs, just the ones in Google Docs, to improve your grammar and spelling. You are not allowed to use AI programs like ChatGPT to write your paper for you, expand on your ideas, enhance your paper's vocabulary, conduct research, or for any other reason. Don't use those in my class. It's a really bad idea. Don't use them and then say that I was just trying to make my vocabulary better. Don't do that. If you're caught cheating in this class, your overall grade will be significantly reduced. Usually I take off 20 points from your overall grade. So the highest you could make is a C. If you're caught more than once, you will fail the course. To ensure academic integrity, we're using two pieces of online testing software here, or software to ensure that. For tests, you're going to have 3 different tests this year that will use what's called Proctorio. It's a extension to Chrome that you will download, and for those tests, you will need to use Chrome, and you will need to have all of the pieces of hardware that are required for Proctorio, which will be a computer that is has at least 2 gigs of RAM, at least 250 megabytes of free space, and a webcam and a microphone. So this is our test proctoring software. It's designed to prevent cheating on tests, and I'm going to give you a little quiz at the end of this week that's just a stress test of this software before you actually have to use it in a real test. So download this extension. It should be at the top of Blackboard, and then take the little quiz at the bottom of week 1. And as long as you do it right, everything should work right and it should be fine. If you have problems with it, message me and we'll figure it out. If your computer doesn't work for this, you can go to the computer lab at KC or a local library. For writing assignments, what we're going to do is you will turn all of your writing assignments in with Google Docs. You will need to enable the, what do we call it? You'll need to enable version history. It comes that way automatically. You really are not disabling version history. And you will need to share links of those Google Docs with me so that anyone with the link can edit it. This is so that I can go through your version history and make sure that you're not copy pasting huge things into your paper or getting information from somewhere else. You will also, each time you turn in a writing assignment, turn in a PDF of that writing assignment. And I'll post videos showing how to do all of this. This is how we're going to do it every single time. Eventually, you'll get used to it. We'll practice it this week, and by the time you're doing it for major grades, you should have the procedure down. Title IX, you can read through this if you want to. Everyone at Kilgore College has the right to go to college without being harassed because of their gender or race or preferences or anything like that. And if you feel like that isn't what's happening for you, you have the right to file a complaint. You can click here and see the complaint form. Well, I can see that. You guys probably can't. But you can also call the Title IX office at that phone number down there or email them if you have any problems. If you report a Title IX violation to me, I have to report it because as a member, as a employee of the school, I am obligated to do that. The Writing Studio and Tutor.com. So for the papers that you write in here, one of the best ways that you can get help with that is by going to the Writing Studio, which is located in the library, or having a over the phone online discussion with them about your paper. The Writing Studio here has several English teachers who are all familiar with my expectations, and they are familiar with the ways that I want papers written, and they can help you get a much better grade. They can help you understand things that probably make a lot of sense to me but probably don't make a lot of sense to you, and sit down with you and help you work out how to write your paper. You can set up an appointment with them. They're open 9 to 3 Monday through Thursday and 9 to noon on Friday. If you can't go at that time, there is also Tutor.com, which there is a link in Blackboard to go to. You will get 4 free hours of online tutoring each semester. And if you can't go to the Writing Studio, Tutor.com works as well. They have English teachers that are available to help you 24 hours a day. They just don't know me, so they're not going to do as good of a job. Okay. For disability services, if you have a disability from high school or from a previous year in college that you need accommodations for, make sure to contact them. It is your responsibility to contact disability services and make sure that they send me a letter saying the things that I need to change to make the class work for you. You can also find information at this link here. Most of the time, people with disabilities don't really have a problem in my class because of the way I've refined it over time to make it easier for anyone to be able to take. But if you have one of those disabilities, you have to tell them so that I can actually make changes for you. AI system disclosure. Kilgore College uses instructional platforms, including Blackboard and Zoom, that contain artificial intelligence features. I'm not going to use any of these if I can avoid it, but we have to disclose that that's in there. Student learning outcomes. These are the outcomes that are you're expected to learn from the class. You can read over those if you want. Core objectives, that's very similar. These are the things that you're expected to kind of learn from every class. We're going to cover these 4 that you see here: critical thinking, communication, personal responsibility, and teamwork. We'll be doing all of those in this class. Other academic policies. There's a link here where you can follow to find academic policies that don't necessarily apply to the class. We've covered academic honesty. Each professor gets to make their own policy about that. Communication, makeup work, late work you can get a 70 on usually, unless there's some kind of excuse. If you have a grievance or complaint about the way that I'm running the class, you have the right to make a to complain to somebody else about it and try to get something done about it. But you need to contact me first. If you don't contact me about it first, they're going to tell you, they're just going to send you back to me. I don't usually get a lot of complaints. I don't remember the last time I had one. Withdrawal from the course. About 2 weeks before the end of the class, there will be a withdrawal date, and if I think you're going to fail the class, I will send you a message telling you that you need to withdraw before that comes up. If you think that you're not going to be able to pass the class because of personal outside of class reasons, withdrawing is probably a better option. So you can save your GPA. But always contact me first. We'll see if we can work it out. Campus carry does not apply to us, but if you are on campus, make sure you know the campus carry policy if you are a campus carry type person. Disability Act we did. Alternative operations during campus closure and emergencies. If something crazy happens, where we get virus attacked again or something like that, then we'll have to make arrangements to finish the class some other way. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Evaluation of the instructor. At the end of the year, you will get the opportunity to evaluate me and decide if I did a good job or not. And you'll get those usually in your email, and be able to fill out a little survey and leave comments and stuff like that. So I'm not just giving you guys grades, you'll be grading me as well. Finally, as instructor, I reserve the right to amend and or modify the syllabus as necessary to promote the best education possible within prevailing conditions affecting this course. Basically, that just means some kind of crazy thing happens where, like I said, if the campus has to close or there's computer problems or something like that, we may have to make adjustments later on. These adjustments will not be designed to hurt you in any way. They'll be designed to make sure that the course is as effective as possible. All right, guys. So go ahead, and now you need to go ahead and take the quiz. There are 7 questions in there. You can open up the syllabus and have it open on one page while you answer those questions to make sure you get them all right. You only get one chance to take it though, so make sure that you have all of your questions right before you take it. All right, guys. See you guys in the next one.